everybody is wrong about DayZ. It's not a PvP game, and if you're not interacting with people and if you're killing on sight, you don't really know how to play DayZ. And by the end of the video, you might actually think that too. If you like the video, please leave a like or a subscribe. It really helps me out. But without further ado, let's get into the video. The old one, I haven't played the newest one yet.
Whoa. Car.
Coming or in the bush?
Right here.
Holy crap. Yep, there's no way they're going to believe we came across this legitimately. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely do read every single one of them. Anyway, PvP is one of the worst things to happen to DayZ. And that's a big statement. But I think by the end of the video, you're probably going to be like, oh, I see it too. But firstly, let's just get two big assumptions you might have about me out the way. So firstly, no, I don't dislike PvP. In fact, I love PvP in DayZ. And the second assumption you probably have, no, I'm not a big PvE player. I enjoy the survival side of DayZ. It's one of my favorite parts of DayZ, but it's not the only reason I play it. So those two things are out the way. I don't suck at PvP and I don't only play PvE. But there are several major things you need to consider. So the first one is simple. DayZ itself dominates the hardcore survival genre. It is unmatched. Yes, you have some incredible games like Scum and Rust, and they are great games, and I'm not knocking them at all. But in my opinion, none of them even come close to DayZ. And there is a reason DayZ holds this title. It holds this title because it does survival so well. It doesn't hold your hand. It's a proper hardcore survival game. It even has a truly hardcore tutorial. It's just sort of like, hey, you're on a beach. So what do I do? Fuck you, that's what you do. But before we get to the main point of the video, there's something you need to know first. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, well, it's a hardcore survival, but that doesn't mean it can't have PvP. What the hell is this guy talking about? Well, here's the thing. DayZ dominates in its genre because it focuses on hardcore survival. If it starts to focus more on PvP, it then enters a different genre. If it enters that different genre, it's no longer at the top of the food chain. It's now competing with some of the biggest IPs in the world. IPs, by the way, which have had 20 or so years of refinement of systems, multiple studios working on single games, billions cumulatively invested into it. There's absolutely no way that DayZ can compete with that level of competition. It is a brand new league, and as great as the PvP is in DayZ, as intricate as it is, as fun as it is, that is a very specific genre to enter, and right now DayZ will get steamrolled. But this isn't really the reason that DayZ shouldn't have PvP, bear with me. Because another thing is just the general gameplay. Think about it. Think about the speed of something like COD or Battlefield. You can die 50 times in a single game. Honestly, be truthful. The last COD game you had, out of those 20, 30, 50 deaths you had in a single game, how many of them do you remember? Honestly, how many of them do you remember? How many of them will you remember in a week? Now, think about DayZ. Think about the times you've died. Think about how important it was. How big of a deal it was. Some of the situations where you've just nearly pulled something off, but you didn't and you died and you've lost all your progress. And it's frustrating, but you're like, wow. Think about these moments. These aren't really truly moments of PvP. They're moments of hardcore survival. Because here's the thing, one huge part of hardcore survival is its PvP elements. Because at the end of the day, PvP is just another element you have to survive against. And you might be thinking that this contradicts my earlier statement, but it doesn't. Because look, here's the thing. With the success of Armor's been doing really well. It hit a really successful milestone, and I'm glad for Bohemia Interactive. But as a developer, it is difficult to see one of your games do okay and then not try and emulate it on the other games, because it's like, well, this clearly works. But here's the issue. Armor always does well. It always has spikes, especially when new content or games come out. There's a huge spike. DayZ, however, isn't a game of spikes. Yes, every now and again when there's a DLC or new patch, numbers go up, but numbers stay up consistently. Even in between updates, they generally continue to increase. And the reason for this is not because of a focus on PvP. It's because of the focus on making everything matter. And that can't ever be achieved with a PvP game. Because where a PvP game focuses on beginning and end, hardcore survival focuses on everything in between. It's not about who's got the fastest finger. It's about immersion. It's about consequences with weight. It's about the unique power that lies in the social unpredictability. It's about creating creating your own story. The creative freedom that comes with every decision you make is unparalleled in gaming culture. Everything is so scripted nowadays, everything is so linear, and that's brilliant, unless sometimes you don't really want to follow the same mold. But think about every PvP game, think about every arena survival game, think about all these games put together. They always have these huge rises and then drop-offs until the next one comes along. DayZ hasn't really had that. We've had so many people say so many things. The day after tomorrow will kill DayZ. DayZ will kill DayZ. Ark's new update will kill DayZ. Every other month I'm seeing in comments somebody say that this new game coming out is going to kill DayZ. And yet, it continues to break records. And this video isn't anti-PvP. It's not saying if you enjoy going and just killing people on sight, then you're playing DayZ wrong. I know I said that in the beginning. If you want, you can kill every single person you encounter. You don't have to explain, you don't have to engage, you can play however you want. But my point was, all the clear rage bait aside, DayZ is a social sandbox. To simply label what it offers as PvP is a huge undersell. That is only something that's achievable with a game that doesn't focus on one single aspect. And that is why DayZ is not a PvP game, and quite honestly, until they want to kill sales, that won't ever change. But keep in mind, this is just my opinion, this is what I've always thought, so I'm completely open to you disagreeing with me in the comments. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I am absolutely not an authority on DayZ. But if you want to hear more about DayZ, click this video here, or for something else, click here. And as always, until next time.